A. The Oslo Report. Following the outbreak of World War II, a German company executive named Hans Ferdinand Mayer took what he claimed was an ordinary business trip to Oslo, Norway. The true purpose of his journey, however, was to leak highly classified information to Nazi Germany's adversary, Britain. In Norway, Mayer wrote what has become known as the Oslo Report, providing details of Germany's military capabilities and technology, including the fact that Germany had developed a radar system. Britain possessed this technology, but erroneously believed that Germany did not, so it was unaware that Nazi radar systems could potentially give them advance warning of bombing raids carried out by British planes. Initially, however, there was skepticism regarding the report. Although Mayer provided detailed evidence that his information was correct, the British were suspicious that it was a German deception. The document had been sent anonymously, and it seemed impossible that German technology had advanced so rapidly. However, a military intelligence officer named R.V. Jones realized the report was accurate and convinced the British of its validity. Eventually, the information in the Oslo Report was incorporated into military strategy and used to develop measures aimed at countering German weapons systems.
Questions. Number 11. What important information was contained in the Oslo Report? Number 12. What did R.V. Jones do? B. A look at mass extinctions. Scientists generally agree Earth has experienced 5 mass extinction events. These so-called Big Five events fit the general criteria for recognition as mass extinctions. They wiped out at least 3/4 of species, and they occurred on a rapid time scale. While such events devastate life on Earth, they also reshape ecosystems so fundamentally they create possibilities for certain species to thrive. In the second mass extinction, for example, which occurred around 370 million years ago, the disappearance of reef systems caused changes in habitat space and water circulation that allowed starfish-like organisms called crinoids to populate the ocean in extremely large numbers. Some scientists believe that, due to human activity, a 6th mass extinction event is occurring. They note that extinction rates of plants and invertebrate animals exceed the normal rate at which species disappear between mass extinction events. The scientists say critics of the 6th mass extinction theory rely too much on the IUCN Red List, a global inventory that reflects extinction data for only a limited range of species encompassing mainly birds and mammals. They say when smaller, lesser-known organisms are accounted for, the degree of biodiversity loss signals that the 6th mass extinction is indeed underway.
Questions. Number 13. What does the speaker say about crinoids? Number 14. What do some scientists suggest about the IUCN Red List?
C. Incan agriculture. Despite the rugged terrain of the Andes Mountains where they lived, the Incan people cultivated large areas of land for agriculture, in addition to breeding crop varieties that could withstand the severe climatic conditions. The Incas also developed innovative farming methods. These included terraced fields, complex irrigation systems to provide water, and stone walls that trapped heat to protect crops from frost. Using these methods, the Incas were able to create stockpiles of food that could be used in case of poor harvests and other crises. Many historians believe this was a major reason the Incan Empire could become so powerful. Following the arrival of the Spanish in the 16th century, the Incas' agricultural systems fell into disrepair, and most of their farming knowledge and expertise was eventually lost. Over the past few decades, however, a charity organization has been using archaeological information to rehabilitate farmland in Peru using Incan methods. The project has been a success, increasing agricultural production in an area that covers over 150 hectares. It is now hoped that similar projects can be set up in other parts of Peru to help overcome the effects of climate change on agriculture in the region.
Questions. Number 15. What do many historians believe about the Incan Empire? Number 16. What is a charity organization trying to do in Peru?
D. The Marshes of southern Iraq. The marshes of southern Iraq have long been regarded as ecologically significant. Despite encroaching development such as agricultural and irrigation projects, a significant proportion of the wetlands remained intact for much of the 20th century. In the 1990s, however, the President of Iraq ordered the marshes to be systematically drained of their water. This action was, in part, seen as a political move to punish groups that the government saw as hostile. Such was the devastation to the marshes that they were reduced to a small fraction of their historical size. Many marsh Arabs, whose families had lived in the region for generations, were forced to flee. In the early 2000s, a change of government provided an opportunity to reverse the marshes' fortunes. With support from the United Nations, among others, some areas were re-flooded. Nature returned, and so did some marsh Arabs. To help ensure the marshes' ongoing protection, some of them were awarded World Heritage status. Despite the programme's success, some observers believe dark times loom. The expansion of agricultural land, the creation of upstream dams, and recent droughts threaten to undo the progress made. Some areas have already dried up, making fishing and other life-supporting activities impossible.
Questions. Number 17. What does the speaker say about the marshes of southern Iraq before the 1990s? Number 18. What do some observers believe?
E. The Judgment of Paris. The 17th century Flemish artist Peter Paul Rubens is well known for his paintings of human figures. One of his most famous and best-loved masterpieces, The Judgment of Paris, is currently back on display at the National Gallery in London after undergoing a year of conservation work. However, the painting no longer looks the way that Rubens intended. During the conservation process, the gallery's experts discovered that several changes had been made to the painting after Rubens's death, including major alterations to the appearance of the main characters in the painting. Following much debate, the gallery decided to preserve the changes, arguing that they represented an important part of the painting's history. In fact, While altering an artist's original work is generally considered unthinkable today, it was a relatively widespread practice in the past. Paintings were seen as decorative objects, and their owners would often have them changed simply to make them more attractive. Potentially offensive scenes, such as those containing violence or nudity, were also removed from paintings to make them more palatable for polite society. In the case of the Judgment of Paris, it is believed that the changes were made to make it more appealing to the art market at the time.
Questions. Number 19. What do we learn about the painting mentioned by the speaker? Number 20. What is one thing the speaker says about the past?
これで終了です。答え合わせをしましょう。